What's up, guys? I'm so happy to be back. Sorry for the technical difficulties yesterday, and I'm putting on lipstick as I'm doing this, so yeah, I look a little funky. Anyway, we're here. We're talking every bet on the board. Well, not everyone, but the ones that we like. It's Kelly. It's me. It's a special guest, and his name is not Ben Mintz. It's actually the Rico
Wait, does
Bosco.
it say he's been Mintz?
No, I think it says I don't know. Dukes is sending me screenshots. It says guest again. I'm just happy to be in the presence.
I did ask Jack. He's had a really busy week. We just launched the state of Kansas. I've only called him 144 times this week. He promised me for next Thursday, when you're on for college football again, it's gonna have your name. He promised me.
All right.
Well, at least you weren't caught late running to make money shots, because I will say that Ben Sprints is probably my favorite. Did I get kicked out? Where did
I just saw that retweet, Megan.
Ben Sprints is probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Between that, the Mario card where he's like on the track, the Eye of the Tiger. One thing that Barstool does probably better than anyone, if it's not the sports book, is make fucking graphics, because we're just the best all around, hands down. But enough of sucking Barstool's dick. I love doing it, but it's enough.
Well, Megan, on that note, did you see that my mom was like super outraged that we used a graphic of Mark Mangino and it was actually Big Cat? It like fooled my poor 70-year-old mother. She was like, these morons, why would they use this? I'm like, Mom, that's Big Cat. It's supposed to be funny. She just like left me on red.
That's the joke. Well, congratulations to Kansas. Super happy for all the good people there. I will be taking my first trip to Kansas next week with that beautiful girl up in my top right-hand corner. I don't know where she's at there in y'all's, but that's where she's at in mine. But enough of everything. Let's go ahead and get into these bets for the weekend, because I know that's why we're all here. And let's start off with one that's not on the board, because we all kind of were chirping about it earlier. And that's Old Dominion and Vatek. Kelly, what is that line at right now? Do you have the Barstool Sportsbook pulled up?
Listen, I have had a really busy day. I do not have the Barstool Sportsbook pulled open.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'll give a quick preview while you get up that line. Old Dominion returned 17 starters. That's including quarterbacks, rushers, receivers, an O-line, and Vatek essentially starting the fuck over.
Six.
Yeah, Caroline's 6, Megan.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Old Dominion, but I feel like it's almost like how it was with Central Michigan yesterday. I took Central Michigan. Thanks, Kelly. And for a second there, it was looking pretty fucking doom and gloom. But it ended up covering, so shout out to you. I feel like this game's going to be a lot like that one, to where it's going to look really bad for quite a while, and then all of a sudden Old Dominion's just going to be good, and they're going to cover. But I personally am not putting any money on it as of now. Kelly, where are you going on this game? And then kick it down to Mr. Bosco for the expert advice.
I am very, very, very close to playing Old Dominion. Look, these two teams are like 250 miles apart. And if you remember, Megan, well, maybe you do, but in 2018, I had Old Dominion in my 3-team parlay to beat Vatek. They got it done. And I think that there's a slight chance they could get it done tonight. This one opened 7.5. Down to 6. That means somebody agrees with me. I haven't bet it as of yet. I've been a little piss poor is a good description. I always tell people get the best of the number, and then I do stupid shit like last night, like wait too late to add Central Michigan. And
don't do that, because people were all on my ass for putting out Illinois today at plus, I think it's 3.5 I got like last Sunday, and everyone's like, what's the fucking point of putting the line out if we want to tell you? Well, it's because I'm a part of Pick Central, and people are tracking every fucking unit I have. So if I have a good number, I'm going to put out the number that I have. I'm sorry that you were not there to get that number. I truly apologize. I still like Illinois on the money line tonight, but we'll get there. Go ahead, Kelly, then kick it down to Rico.
No, like you said, Megan, these guys are returning an entire team. I think that this is going to be like a knockout, drag-out type fight. I actually think it's going to be really similar to what we saw versus Pitt in West Virginia last night, and it's going to come down to a late turnover. A late score is going to determine who wins it. So I am going to take the points with Old Dominion, and I'm debating on if I want to do the parlay on the money line with Temple, which is just insane. It is insane. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm an idiot for thinking that Temple can beat Duke. But who the fuck is Duke to be 7-point favorites over anybody? Like, bottom line.
Smitty talked on Pick Central that he's taking Duke, and he's a Temple fan. I don't know. Maybe Rico can attest to that.
All right. Well, either way, I will post it. I've already bothered Jack for 1,000 fucking things today, so I can bother him for that as well.
All right, Bosco, what do you think of this Old Dominion game?
Yeah, it's a pass for me. I was on Old Dominion's win total under last year. They started out great for
Yeah.
me in the fact that they sucked and then rallied. You're talking about the 17 starters. That shows me a team who wants to fight. Turned it around last year. Now it's like it's a building type thing. The number is plummeting. I want to say it was around like 11, like not too long ago. It is moving down and down and down towards Old Dominion. Virginia Tech, the reason that once I heard this kid was going there, I was like, all right, I'm out on these guys. Grant Wells from Marshall is he's in my graveyard. I think he lost, was either Rice or Old Dominion.
Wait. Rico, how do you get in said graveyard?
How do you get in said graveyard?
That's a good question. Probably
I-
pretty easily.
Yeah, pretty easily. But I hammer you first half in game against a team who I had inside information that Rice's quarterback was out. Literally no one in the country knew about it except me and the people at Rice.
And you didn't text me about it?
I was before
Did
we
you
would
see the text I sent you last night?
It was before we were text friends. It was definitely before we were text friends. It was very
That
early
seems a
last
little
year.
off, but no worries, guys.
It was very early last year. It was way before that. So they didn't even show up. So and Grant Wells was horrific. I think he threw like 5 picks that game. So you're talking about like Virginia Tech, of all the transfer quarterbacks, like this is the guy you land? No thanks. I would not be surprised if Old Dominion puts up a fight the whole way. And like you said, at that point you got to play the money line.
All right, so Kelly's leaning towards playing the money line, also the points. Rico and I are passing, but he agrees he probably should just play the money line at this point. So let's move on to a game that we have up on the beautiful board that our lovely, beautiful, amazing producer Jack built out for us. And that is Illinois at Indiana. As I said, I got 3.5 on Illinois. It's down to 1. I wrote 1.5, but I thought I saw 1 earlier. Essentially a pickup. So for me, Illinois passed the eye test. They looked super balanced on both sides of the ball. I know that Indiana hasn't displayed who's going to be the quarterback, and they're kind of keeping things close to their chest. But I like Illinois, and I'm taking them, as I said, plus a 3.5, and I like them on the money line. I think that they can get it done here. But as I said, I've got to see Illinois play. I haven't gotten to see Indiana play, so that's more of just I like them, and they've passed my eye test, the first one of the year. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here. Kelly, what do you think about this game?
You know, Megan, I'm not sure that there's a team that looked better in the country last week, and that's probably because I had 14. I had a great number with Wyoming. I thought that the line had moved way out of control, and that just wasn't the case. And whether it was how piss poor, I'm going to use that twice in one show, Wyoming looked at how bad they were offensively, the terrible field goals they kicked, or if it really was Illinois and Brett Bielema playing better. Now, I did miss the good line of 3.5, so I would stay away at this point. I'm with you. I think that Illinois did pass the eye test last week. I do think that Bielema has this team headed in the right direction, but this is a big step up in class, and I know Indiana is not anything to write home about, but in comparison to how bad Wyoming was, I was almost so tired last night. I was considering Wyoming for my parlay this week because not a team looked worse. Well, okay, a couple teams looked worse, but they looked pretty bad. That being said, I'm going to pass here and just root for you. Maybe the game lands 3 and you get to catch that ticket by the hook.
All right, Rico, what do you think? Did Illinois pass your eye test, or are you still hesitant on this team?
Yeah, so I waited a little while because I actually, if it makes sense, I didn't think Purdue and Illinois could both win. Like, or I should say, it looked like those were both going to be the right sides. So when Purdue falls out, I'm like, you know what? All right, one of them's going to win because this line made no sense at plus 3.5, and we've seen how people have moved it back down now to a pick 'em. I've added Illinois at +1. I thought they were going to win the game outright, so they're the better team. Indiana, we don't know. They've never been terrific. They had Penix, and like they had that one good COVID year that they're kind of hanging on. Illinois shows me what they did. They were tough last week. They were tough last year. I forget who they even played in the debut, but they beat the shit out of them too as well. I like Bielema. I like what he's doing. Illinois, I think they get up for this game even in Indiana. I think it's an outright winner.
All right, let's go, Rico. And just a quick stat for everybody. Last year, I'm sorry, not Nebraska. Saw the red, and that's where my brain went. Indiana was getting gashed by opponents. 389 yards of offense a game, and they were allowing 33.3 points per game. So if Illinois can keep that balanced attack up, I'm gonna agree with Rico. As I said, I still like this Illinois team plus a 3.5 and on the money line.
Yeah,
So
Megan, that's a good point. I'm looking at, I got it in front of me here. 123rd in points, 113th in rush, 113th in pass, and 124th in total yards of offense. And they lose Michael Penix and bring back just 4 starters on offense and don't have a huge name to hang their hat on. Illinois. I can die being wrong with Illinois. I'll take Illinois.
I will die with you. We can be in the graveyard together. All right, let's move on to Cincy at Arkansas. Last time I looked, Arkansas was laying 6.5. And Kelly and I, we've already went over the SEC preview. And, I said that I feel like I should be higher on this team considering how well they did for me last year and how many bills they paid for me. KJ Jefferson is a fucking unit and can air out the ball whenever he wants to and can run it whenever he wants to. So I have a weird play here. I like Arkansas first half because I think Fickle goes in halftime, makes the adjustments, and then I might lose on a last-minute field goal or a backdoor by the Cincinnati team. But I like Arkansas. I'm going to play them first half. Thoughts on that, Kelly, and then kick it down to Rico.
Yeah, my best bet I gave out yesterday on the show, in case you missed it, is Cincinnati, and that is the first leg of my money line parlay. Listen, no disrespect to Sam Pittman. He inherited a Brett Bielema, which is funny because we were just praising him somehow for this Illinois team in Fayetteville, like just bottom of the barrel SEC team, right? Like we talk about the SEC all the time, and the cream rises to the top, and it's the same 4 or 5 teams every single year. So I don't think that they're the best conference. I think that Arkansas grossly overvalued here, Megan, and that's because what did they do last year? That defense really impressed me, and yes, that defense is all but back this year. But this is a Bearcats offense that I expect to see run the shit out of the ball. They're going to slow down that game. And I think that they can get the best of the Hogs here. I've seen them from the past 3-4 seasons under Luke Fickell. What he's really been able to do with that culture is he's said, we are going to win games. We might not be a Power 5 school, even though they will be next year, but we're going to play like one. And I think that they can spring the road upset in Fayetteville. And I know that a lot of people don't like that I picked these road underdogs, but the math says this line should be 4.5. So it went from 7 down to 6. Now it's back up to 7. At least it was before we started the show. And let's see if it is back up. I got to go to a different page. But I'll look at it while Rico's talking. But yeah, I love Cincinnati. And I've told a couple people, I said, listen, don't not play Arkansas because of me. You like Arkansas? No problem. You guys, these lines have been out for weeks. They are beat to shit. They are going to be very, very sharp come tomorrow morning. So if you haven't already made your bets, you're probably late to the party.
All right, Rico, do you agree with what Kelly's saying? And also, I want to know a thought on the total here, because I feel like with these two teams, it looks like, since you think, over, just because of last year and the ability to score points. But I think this might be like a drag out type game, and the under kind of looks appealing to me. So, Rico, what side are you leaning here? And also thoughts on the total.
Sure. It's a double pass for me. We gave it out on Pick'em. I would lean with Kelly as far as Cincinnati. I know they lose Gardner and lose a lot of guys on that defense, but I think it comes down to mindset. And I know Arkansas took a leap last year, and Brandon has said a ton of times, like, they think they're a 10 and 11 win team now every year. I don't know if that's the case. We'll see. But Cincinnati has been. They've been at the top of that conference. I know it's a different level of competition. Cincinnati, I mean, listen, I know they got their doors blown off in the playoff, but like to get there, to be the team that get there, this mindset, this defensive mindset, Fickell stayed. I think they can keep it close. I think it will be ugly. If I was playing it, it'd be Cincy in the under.
All right, so I have Arkansas first half. As I said, y'all can still cash all Cincy money line. I just need Arkansas to come out hot.
Megan, here's your real quick. I just wanted to tell you the stat. I just found the under 21-8 in Cincinnati's last 29 games as a road underdog. It's a pretty decent sample size.
All right, so maybe I do play the under. Maybe I'll have to add it to the card. Don't do that yet, Pick Central, if you're listening, TJ. All right, so we have an established feel on that game. Let's move on to the next one, which is Houston at UTSA. I went ahead and hopped on Houston -4. This is going to be a good game. I've loved both of these teams. They were both moneymakers for me last season. However, I like Houston to get the ball rolling here. They have Texas Tech next week. No Texas school likes to lose to another Texas school. I think they use this UTSA game as a strong practice game, if you will. Which, as I said, UTSA is no school to practice against. They're a very good fucking school, good team. But Houston has just been an absolute unit, and I'm going to keep riding them from last year on. Let's start with Rico here. Rico, what's your thoughts on this game, and then kick it up to Kelly?
So it's interesting you say Houston has been also everyone in the comments, I'm sure, is making fun of how I say Houston.
I was just about to, but I didn't want to interrupt you again.
All right. It's a little like Joe Pesci with you. For whatever reason.
At least you don't say it like you're from Boston, where they say it like Houston or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's Houston. I'm working on the H, but it's Youston, Houston. And maybe I just caught them on the wrong days and Megan got them on the right, but I didn't love Houston last year. Opening week, pick them or +1 against Texas Tech, gets out to a lead, falls dead. The championship game, they put them at 14 against Cincinnati. I thought they could win the game outright. Stupid turnovers, kind of gave the game away in certain spots. Couldn't get me a backdoor cover. I like Clayton Tune a lot. I like Dana a lot. But if you keep chasing the same team, after a while, you're dumb. So I'm rooting for Houston to be great, but I'm staying away from it.
Is that like you're dumb without the E, just like YOUR, like you're dumb?
Yeah.
Like they're that kind of dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Kelly, can we not spell things on this show? We know I can't fucking spell or say pronounce anything correct.
No, it's just like whenever somebody on Twitter says you're dumb, it's always the wrong you're.
Oh,
and
yeah, always.
When I heard Rico, because I had my notes up and I couldn't see his face, I felt that you're. Like, it's the wrong kind of you're because that's how dumb this team is.
Exactly. The other thing too is Frank. I would put this. Not a lot of people are talking about. Maybe it's just us loving these mid majors, and I know Kelly leans more towards the Power Fives, but this is a top 5 game to me. If you really ask about it, I know it's going to get buried. It's probably going to be on streaming.
I love this game.
It's going to be buried. This is a fantastic game in terms of Power Fives. When we finally do get the Rico Bosco non-Power 5 playoff, these are two teams that I would love. This would be like an essential play-in game for the 1 seed. Frank Harris at UTSA is a guy to watch too. He's a true dual threat. This will probably come down to the wire. It's a pass for me. Honestly, I really see no difference in the two teams. You could talk me into either side. So for that, why am I going to put myself out there again and be either wrong on Houston if they lose or, wrong on them if they win somehow?
I'd rather you not be on them. I'd rather just take all the heat there. I just think that UTSA is going to probably need to air it out quite a bit. And I think Houston's going to be able to neutralize that, which is why I ended up being on Houston. And as you said, we were probably just completely different spectrums last year. I ended up picking on the good days. You ended up picking on the bad days. And
I also think weirdly, Houston, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't they lay an egg to Memphis last year too? That drove me fucking berserk when I was laying.
I don't know.
They beat Memphis last year. They lost pretty badly to Cincinnati, and they won every. Hold on.
I think I might have taken Memphis against Houston.
They lost to. Their only loss was to Texas Tech. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, they
then
opened
Memphis,
the season, lost to Texas Tech.
Well, here we go. Texas Tech next week, but they're going to fucking smash UTSA to get ready for Texas Tech.
Are they, though? Are they looking ahead?
No look ahead. This is their first game. This is their
I don't know. UTSA was like this last year. And then they just fell off the fucking wagon. They went 1-4 down the stretch.
I'm confusing my Reds. It was SMU and Shane
I do that all the time.
SMU. I got all the red teams in the AAC. I was in love with Houston and SMU, so I knew somebody pissed me off. So go ahead, Kelly. Sorry.
Somebody pissed me off. See, you guys need to keep a note sheet. That's how I remind. I have a do not bet list, and the Jets are on the top of that. That being said, I wanted to back UTSA here. I wanted to put them in my parlay, but I thought 4.5 was a little short. I would have really liked to get at least 6, if not a touchdown with this team. Again, UTSA really looked great. I remember going back and forth with Chaps about it. And the unfortunate part is they're football team number 10 in the state of Texas, right? You could name 10 football teams before you name UTSA. And that kind of sucks for them. I like Daniel Holgerson. I really do. I'm excited to see him back in the Big 12 next year. For the most part, Houston does better as the hunter than the hunted, like over the course of the last 10 years that I've been betting. But last year, something really flipped and they just didn't do good against competitive opponents. They can beat up on crappy teams all they want or an Auburn team that doesn't care in a bowl game. But I just don't know how I feel about this Houston team. I really was trying to make a case for UTSA. I just think that they may take a step back from last year because they did really benefit from some turnovers. They really benefited from some good quarterback play, running the ball. And, they have 8 offensive starters coming back this season. Frank Harris, who's not bad, 33 touchdowns. I just needed just a little bit more to get to the window with the Roadrunners.
That's what they all say. Just a little bit more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to Oregon at Georgia. Georgia is laying 17. And really quickly, a stat that I think everyone should know. Last year, Georgia beat every single opponent besides their opener against Clemson by how many points? 17 points. Really fishy here. For me, it would be Georgia or pass. I don't want anything to do with this game, though, because I did not watch enough of Oregon last year at all to even think about what they'll be like this year. I know they'll have some sick ass uniforms, and I would go there so that I could wear a different one every single game if I didn't go to LSU. But I didn't do that either. But
I was like, oh, now you're an LSU grad, huh?
yeah, I didn't graduate from shit. So there y'all go. Yeah, I lean Georgia or pass here. But I really want to know y'all's thoughts on this game because when I read that stat about them beating every team by 17 points besides their opener, it just like the wheels started turning, and I felt like somebody fucking knew something that I didn't know, and I didn't like that feeling. So Kelly, you start, and then bring it down to Rico.
I really had Oregon circled here, and I'm like, okay, can Oregon do to Georgia what they did in the horseshoe last year, right? And the answer is no. What did they do last year in that win? They beat an Ohio State team whose defense just wasn't that good. And you know whose defense is really good? Georgia. On the flip side, most of those defensive guys are now in the NFL. But this is a Georgia team that I think is going to reload defensively. I do think that they're not going to be as good as last year, and that's just because of experience. They had a lot of super seniors because of the COVID years on that Georgia defense, and that's why they won a natty. But Dan Lanning, I don't know what to make of him. He was Georgia's defensive coordinator. Surely he's got some good intel. You got
think
Bo
he's
Nix.
in Kirby Smart's head at all?
Maybe. It's always interesting because Nick Saban just kicks his former coordinators' asses. I haven't really seen any good data on Kirby Smart and how he's done against his former coordinators. I'm not high on Bo Nix. Full disclosure, I think this whole thing was, Bo Nix has played at Auburn, so he's seen this Georgia team. Bo Nix is worse than Jameis Winston as far as his first couple years as a Bucs. What's he going to do next? I don't know if he's going to throw a touchdown or a pick six. I lean Georgia here. I think that you mentioned, Megan, at 17, even 17 and a half. It's just a little fishy. I think you're paying a premium for the national champions from last year. I could see Oregon with the late backdoor cover, and then I break my TV, and, it's just not worth me getting involved.
Bosco, thoughts?
You don't play your way out of the SEC, right? And I think Oregon is a power program. I've stayed up forever watching them, staring at a picture of Joey Harrington right behind me on the wall. Well, you can't see it, but I'm looking at it. And so I grew up loving Oregon, and I do think they're a power program. But there's no way a guy from Auburn goes to Oregon. Let's face it. So Bo Nix has kind of played his way down a little bit. The way I would look at it, I originally, when it came out, was I think Oregon, you kind of saw what they did against Ohio State. Bo Nix is definitely a name. He's I don't want to say a pro, but he's going to bring you stability, at least at quarterback.
He's so visible.
But it's not going to be fantastic. The way I would play it is under. I lean Georgia to smash him.
Ooh,
weirdly. But
I already did play that. And it's not my play, but Rico, you nailed it.
I think if you look back to and listen, you see a lot of these spots and you turn on the radio and the TV. So it definitely came Chris Felica's a sharp guy, and he gives out a lot of these things. I'm pretty positive if you could do it off your own head, Georgia playing top teams the last couple of times. Gave up 18 to Alabama in the championship game. In the playoff, what they give up to Michigan? They 10. You know what I mean? Like they're
Don't
smushing
even
teams.
remind me. I had the over in that game. That was a fucking dead-on over game.
Yeah, it was.
Michigan. Ugh.
They left. I know, goal line stands, weird shit.
Ugh. Drop passes, kicking field goals. Kill me now.
So listen, we talked about it. A lot of these Georgia guys are now cashing checks in the NFL. Goes back to the mindset. I don't think Oregon can go in there and do it again, if that makes sense. Beating like a top 5 team like this 2 years in a row. I know it's the players change, stuff like that changes. I really think Georgia's been lined up for this the whole way. I would look at Georgia first half. I would look at Georgia game. I'd probably look at Oregon team total under, and I would look at game under. I also think
playing this 4 ways.
Well, that's my advice. That's where I'm at. If it's advice, I could give out 4 plays.
I agree with you there.
I'm on nothing.
Officially,
my buddy Joe.
I've shortened my card a lot. That's where I'm. I think
we're gonna work on Rico's discipline, but I'm with you. I like first half under and full game under.
Well, I think I might play Georgia now that you two have talked and made my brain sound a little bit more, organized. All right, we've already talked Georgia. Let's go to Utah at Florida, and I'll let y'all know that Florida is my favorite underdog of the week. Yeah, I know, against the Utes, bad, tough look. I get it. New head coach in William, a.k.a. Billy Napier, that's from my place here in Lafayette, Louisiana. I will say, though, look at what the Utes did on the road last year. Nothing good, okay? The Utes don't play well on the road. You know where they have to go? The fucking swamp. You know how difficult it is to play in the fucking swamp? I mean, I live in Louisiana, right? So I kind of know what it feels like to go outside and literally just be drenched in sweat.
I know what it feels like to go outside. Megan, this is so much more than outside. This is not outside. This is a football field that feels like it's like 140 degrees.
And then with a plastic bag on the top of it. So,
you know what's weird? Quick, because you talk about the weather, so I'll let you get back. But you know what's weird is that BYU is also going to South Florida this week. And Utah, of all years to have the Holy War, Utah BYU somehow is canceled this year. Utah and BYU should have worked with each other of replicating this heat because they're both going down there week 1.
I have heard that. Did you hear that Utah was practicing indoors? They cranked up the humidity, turn on the heaters, they put on garbage bags.
I don't think you can replicate. I don't think you can replicate.
I don't think you can either, but they were attempting to at least.
So just to throw it out there before y'all start talking, I like Florida plus the 3.5. I know it's a completely new team. I know you have Billy Napier down there, but those guys were so fucking excited to get this head coach, and I get it. I wanted him for quite a little bit. Obviously, jumping from UL to LSU isn't the best in-state move, most likely, because I just don't want to let y'all know here. If you live in Lafayette and you're an LSU fan, you're known as a person that lives in Lafayette who likes LSU. People just don't like that here. Either you're a raging.
What? I'm so confused.
You're either a raging.
I was gonna let that go. I was going to let that one go, Kelly. I was just as confused.
No, okay. I'm saying
if you are an LSU fan, but you live in Lafayette, you're expected to be a ULL fan.
Yes, only.
You can't cheer for both teams. Because it sounds like you cheered for both teams before.
I mean, I do, because no one's going to tell me what the fuck to do, but they don't like it. So, whatever. Anyway.
Okay, I just needed some clarification there.
Anyway, I will say
Rico's quitting.
No, Rico's got to go take another call. Let's go.
Oh, look at that. How fun.
Great school, great team, great campus, great food here. If you ever want to come, Rico,
yes,
we'll have you. So yeah, Florida.
I had a great time in Lafayette.
You did. My favorite underdog of the week. I like Florida plus the 3. And yeah, I know it's crazy because it's the opener. It's against an insanely good Utah team, but I just think that this is a circumstantial play on the Gators, and that's my favorite underdog of the week. Kelly, what do you like? Because I know you're high on the Utes, and a lot of your sharp people are also high on the Utes. What do you make of this game? And then Rico, you can give us the action.
I wouldn't say I'm high on the Utes. I said that, I know a lot of people that expect the Utes to win the Pac-12. They're still 6-1 over at the Barstool Sportsbook. If you agree, I don't care about the Pac-12. This is a program that is an absolute and utter shambles. Maybe Utah will come to the Big 12. I don't know. That being said, let's talk about Florida. I love Billy Napier, what he's done, especially as an underdog, right? And that's why certain of these coaches, when they get these head coaching jobs at bigger programs, when they were from little schools, I got them circled. Billy Napier, 12-6 in his career as an underdog and 7 outright winners. So what I'd really, really like to see is Florida win this game. My problem is Dan Mullen really fucked this program up. And when I was at the Georgia-Florida game last year, I witnessed it in person. He was running a 2-quarterback system with a quarterback and essentially a wide receiver. So Anthony Richardson, his nickname's AR-15, is going to be the only starting quarterback this year. I think that's a good thing.
I think he canceled that nickname, just a heads up.
Listen, I'm from Kansas, okay?
I got you.
I'm going to cancel you.
I don't think he wants to go by that. That's all. I'm reading that.
Well, his number's 15. His initials are AR. Oh, my God. Okay. Got it. Can't use the D word. Can't talk about that. Got it. Okay. So, anyway, now that my show is completely ruined, we can drop F-bombs, though. I still am happy about that. This is a youth program
What's the D word? What D word?
I think this is going to be a knockout.
Oh, never mind. I know what you're talking about. I thought you were like douche, dick. I'm like, that one didn't get you fired.
Do you know which D word that Jack said I was no longer allowed to use?
Yeah, I remember now.
And now you just used all the other D words, and they're obviously allowed to be used.
Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, full disclosure, I think that the Utah, like the narrative in Utah is this Utes team, you know what you're going to get. You know you're going to get a solid defense. You're going to get decent quarterback play. They're going to run the ball down your throat. I think on the flip side, I'm concerned about Florida in a new system. I think that this is a coach that is going to bring the heat in the state of Florida. The problem is, for the first time since 1974, Megan, both Florida and Florida State are unranked in the preseason poll. That's pretty bad.
Florida State.
And I think that tells you kind of how the talking head losers of the internet really think about this program, and they think that it needs another couple of years. And I hate to agree with those people, but I kind of do here. I wonder if this is a rebuild year. Maybe they go to a bowl game, win 6-7 games, maybe even 8. Can they beat the Utes? Probably. They're at home in the swamp. It's going to be hostile as fuck. It's going to be 7:30 at night. It's going to be so humid. People are going to be drinking all day.
Chills, man.
It looks like a total KIV type primetime home dog play. I just can't get to the window here. This looks like I'm going to be sitting on my couch with a bunch of high noons and not a single dollar in action on this one.
All right, Rico, what do we got?
Yeah, I'm on Utah.
Fuck, man.
I really like Utah. You talked about it. So last year, Utah. Also, quickly, Kelly, you have Utah at 6-1 to win the Pac-12.
Yes. What are they currently?
240.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
That's a great number. That's why. Yeah, I don't doubt it.
They were 6. Sorry, I have not checked recently, but they
240.
were 6-1. Probably in July.
That's awesome. No, that's great. I don't
Well,
doubt that.
Plus 240 when we went over the conference.
Yeah, getting them early is obviously the way to go. I thought Charlie Brewer from Baylor, who was good to me a couple of years ago, was going to be good at Utah. He faded out. They go with this kid, Cam Rising. When they made that switch, they really exploded. You cannot replicate the heat. You can't replicate 100,000 people singing Tom Petty. You can't replicate Billy Napier's energy and potential offense, which I've seen at ULL. With all that said, it's a little bit of a rooting thing. I want the Pac-12 to get a playoff team. I think Utah's their best shot. Utah's had months to prepare for this. I think Utah can deliver. I really
Wait, can you tell me why you want the Pac-12 to get a playoff team?
Yeah, it's actually random.
Well, obviously, like I said, I kind of always rooted for Oregon. I just am kind of sick of the same 4 in the playoff. Like last year, I was actually rooting for, and last year it flipped. We've seen all these, newspaper scores and like video game scores. It flipped a little bit to defense. What I was actually rooting for last year was Georgia, Cincy, Oklahoma State, and Michigan, because that would have been 4 true defense. Like we could have seen some ugly type football, and you know what? That's different for the playoff. And that, everything has been kind of blowouts, so that's what I'm rooting for. I'd like to see new blood get in there. I think it's a little bit exciting. It was exciting.
No, for sure. Listen, I'm all for it. I'm all for the new blood. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the way things are headed is we're going to see 4 super conferences, and it's going to be the same teams over and over again. But I think there is a vote. Is there a vote
today?
Soon?
I believe, yeah.
Is it today? Okay. And I don't think they're going to expand it to 16, but I would love to see it expanded to 8. Would love to see 8 teams.
Just a quick tangent too. You talk about the meeting today. If you were on that committee, Friday of Labor Day weekend, wouldn't you be like, all right, listen, we're meeting at 7 in the morning so I can get to wherever I'm going for the weekend? Or like what are we doing here? You're
I'm
messing
with
up my
you.
day. I got to go to work meetings in the middle of the day.
Literally, I had my fantasy football league wanted to draft on Sunday. I go, are you insane? No. I was like, no. We're doing it either the previous Sunday or we're doing it like on a Tuesday. We're not
That's
doing it Sunday of Labor Day weekend.
That's the famous Dozen episode, Memorial Day weekend, when the Chicago guys, they filmed it at 9 o'clock Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and they had a few high noons in them. So it was an entertaining episode.
And probably not more entertaining than when Kelly and I were on.
That was definitely not entertaining, and Jeff D'Lo still won't let us back on. We've been relegated to maybe the extra board if they need us in January, it sounds like.
I have test anxiety. So let's move on. We got 2 more games.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, no, you're out. I'm like, no. I have the text. You already committed. We already have a team.
I'm just saying I won't get – I got too drunk last time because I got too nervous, and that's what I do.
Yeah, who gets drunk before you need to use your brain? I didn't understand that. I was like, I get on, and Kelly Keege's got a glass of wine. Megan's got some Nooners, and I'm like, what the I didn't get this message. We're supposed to be the drunk team?
Yeah, that's me. Okay, let's move on to speaking of drunk, let's move on to Notre Dame at Ohio State. I'm just thinking Irish drinking.
That's not stereotypical at all, Megan.
Yeah, my mom's a redhead. She drinks a lot. All right, so I get it.
My name's Kelly Stewart. Yeah. So
everyone's super excited about Marcus Freeman and as the shiny new head coach that's going to bring all of this excitement to Notre Dame. I get it. But, there was a coach one time that brought a lot of excitement to a team. And guess what? Now he's gone. And now Brian Kelly's there. So you see how that happens. But look, I'm not playing this game just because I personally am not high on Notre Dame at all this year. But I'm also scared of that back door. I think Ohio State can definitely get it done here and cover the 17.5. But I am not willing to put – did Ev take this? Do you know on Pick Central? Did he take this today?
I don't know if he took it today, but I would believe he's high on Ohio State.
He better have taken it at 14. It was 14 all freaking summer.
You know what's weird, though, Kelly, is I'm reading, and I've been told that about 80% of the money is on Notre Dame, and the line keeps climbing. So dig into that how you will.
I don't think that's true. Hold,
all
please.
Right, that's Ev had kind of checked that the other day. He thinks a lot of the public money is on Notre Dame. Which makes sense. Notre Dame's the most public entity in college football. It would make sense that everybody and their mother would be like, oh, Notre Dame plus 17, they'll keep it close. I'll go quick.
Go ahead.
I would lean the over here. Like you said, I do think listen, Ohio State's team total, for Christ's sakes, is 38.5. Like, I would look at Ohio State to have a wow factor in the first half. It's minus 9.5. You're inside a football number like that. I think a lot of the bulletin board material of last year is, hey, you were supposed to win the top 10. Notre Dame's not really a top 10 team. They got to get rid of the preseason rankings. That's a whole other thing. But a primetime game, you're the Saturday night game. Everybody and their mother is watching this game. I think Ohio State comes out and wants to show people, hey, we're ahead of everybody. It smells like a little bit of a rout for Ohio State. Now, if they start slow and Notre Dame keeps them around, at that point, it just only helps Notre Dame. Right. That's all they're looking to do is let's just slow them down for what we can. I don't know if they will. I would lean Ohio State first half, and I would also lead the total over 59. I know Ohio State's got the new defense and all that. They'll still probably give up 14-17 to Notre Dame. I think they will. And if I think Ohio State's going to score 45-50, we're over pretty easily. So I would go over in Ohio State first half.
All right, Kelly, what do you think?
Sorry, I was sending out a text and I did not get a response yet. I expect those like immediates and I just didn't get it. 73% consensus amongst lots of Vegas books. 73% of the cash is on Notre Dame. I'm actually really surprised to see that, Rico, especially the way this line moved.
Are you surprised because I gave the stat and you think I'm dumb, or?
Wow, that is not what I meant at all, but sure. If the shoe fits, fine. Yes, I think Rico's a fucking idiot and don't believe anything he says. No, I was surprised because, yes, Notre Dame is a public team, but so is Ohio State. Ohio State has a huge fan base as well. And the way the line is moved generally indicates where either lots of tickets are coming from or lots of money. And so when you said that, I was like, what? That doesn't seem right. That was all I was implying because I think Ohio State absolutely rolls. but that doesn't mean that you should be now currently laying a bad number.
I
For
laid
some
35.5 with Tennessee with Dave yesterday. I might as well fucking lay 17.5 with this Ohio State.
Okay, yeah, but laying that is not laying a bad number, Megan. Like I'm talking about, this is my problem with week 1 is everything is just beat to shit from all like the whole summer. I'm not sold on Marcus Freeman just yet. I really wasn't impressed with him when he was coaching in the bowl game. Oklahoma State with that huge comeback. While Oklahoma State did thank you, Coach Gundy, last night for letting Central Michigan in the back door and not scoring late. I love you so much for that. But Ohio State, man, is going to be a really good team. CJ Stroud going to be a really great quarterback yet again. And I kind of agree with Rico leaning towards the over here. I'm not going to play it at this point because I think it's a little too far gone. But I definitely have my concerns with this Notre Dame defense. And if they play anything like we saw them play 9 months ago, yes, I understand, kind of a different team, but still, they just left that entire door wide open. They should have never let the Cowboys come back like they did. And maybe that just still resonates in my brain a little bit. It really does. And I think it sets a really poor precedence for the next year. And I know Megan, and I said this to her, Megan and I went to the Texas Bowl, right? And I was really, really happy that LSU played that game because they could have canceled amongst we saw other teams because K-State needed that win, whether it was a true win or not. They needed it to capitalize for this year. And that's what I really think is the problem here with Notre Dame is that they started this Marcus Freeman tenure off on a bad foot, and it kind of concerns me. I think they might get blown out. I think it could be just like really, really ugly, like
I would love nothing more.
A 45-28 type game.
I would love nothing fucking more. I don't know, Rico.
I know you hate Notre Dame, don't you?
But my dad went to Purdue, RIP. He played football. He was a walk-on corner. He played golf. He had a scholarship to Purdue for golf. So growing up, the what was in my house was fuck Notre Dame.
It's actually interesting. I grew up a Notre Dame fan, and a lot of people in New York are because there's no college football team. So right. I went. I
know your last name's Irish, or your last name's Italian, but aren't you Irish?
Yeah, that's the comment section. I'll have a ton of fun with that. Thank you very much. On a holiday weekend to be throwing jabs.
You're almost in the graveyard. Kelly's got one fucking ankle in her grave.
It's all good. But, as you get more into gambling and, let's face it, when was the last time Notre Dame won a big-time bowl? In the year they got to the championship game.
I took a picture of that last night because I wanted to bring it up today.
The year they got to the championship game, there was only 2 teams in the BCS.
And they only got in because of my fucking K-State Wildcats played like shit in Waco. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, no. Listen, I was always picking a team outside the top 10 to make the championship, and K-State was my team that year. I loved Colin Klein.
Ready for this?
Either way,
3-15. 3-15 Notre Dame is against top 5 opponents.
The Oregon State game, I'm pretty positive with Chad Johnson. The Ohio State game with the Hawk brothers when they just killed Brady Quinn. You can go back and forth to a million of these different bowl games where they just haven't shown up. So, I guess your fandom, if you didn't go there, you lose it a little bit. So, listen, still have all those memories of singing the fight song as a little kid with your grandfather, but, gambling is gambling. You start to pick teams more. My fandom's gone down for Notre Dame. And let's face it, pick teams more. My fandom's gone down for Notre Dame. And let's face it, you call it like it is. They just haven't been very great. They've been okay. That's why it was weird that, Brian Kelly decided to leave because he was a couple of years ago, he's on the hot seat. Brian Kelly's been the best thing they've had for the last 20 years. So
that's a great segue into our last game of the day because we are running a little long today and I got to head on to New Orleans.
Now I want to keep this show going longer because Megan gets to go on vacation and I can tell she's chomping at the bit here.
Work, baby.
But hey, Rico, just so you know, I never want to be in the graveyard, but I don't mind hanging out in the cemetery every once in a while.
Okay. I like that. Listen. You keep it. You call it like it is. I was having fun before. I actually gave you a chance to call me an idiot. So I'm giving you layups.
I actually felt almost bad about it. Just almost this close to feeling bad about it. I was like, wow, is that how that came off?
No. Right, I was setting myself up. Self-deprecating.
Everyone in the world already knows because one, I'm an LSU fan too. I think I've convinced myself to win 9 games this year. Shut up, everyone. Don't tell me anything else. 3, I have a fantastic promo going on right now to where you can get a beautiful purple Barstool / Southern Marsh collab polo that's going on until game day. So make sure you go get the bet in. If you're already a member, it's the LSU exclusive, and you get a -2.5. -2.5 on LSU. Look, we've already know that I can go on forever about this, but let's hear what y'all have to say. Let's see if y'all are gonna rain on my fucking parade. Y'all can do that if you want. I've already convinced myself that LSU is going to win by 2 touchdowns, so it doesn't matter. I live in my own head. Rico, let's start with you and then kick it up to Kelly to finish us off on money shots.
Oh my God. My parents can literally not ever watch this show.
Sorry, Mom.
I would like it for record that the woman is making inappropriate comments. I am a consummate professional. I've not made one of these stupid jokes that Megan is making. I'm very unprofessional on a football Friday.
Stupid.
Let's get down to
Rico,
business.
I see where we stand. You're in the graveyard.
Let's get down to business. I very simply here and going over. Everything I'm reading about is LSU's offense and wide receivers being electric. Florida State, Norvell is a desperate guy. A desperate guy tells me he's got to do some wacky shit. He's going to try and score. It seems low to me. 50.5 seems very low to me. I'm going over. I will have no feel on the side.
That Brian Kelly said he was going to name a quarterback, and then he decided that he named him. He just wasn't going to tell us.
I hate that.
Which tells me
okay, great. Thanks,
Mr. Kelly back there. He's probably going to run a 2 fucking quarterback system, and it's going to piss me off because Kelly, if we have 2 quarterbacks, we have Drew Lock, right? So,
yeah.
That was a funny joke, Rico. I don't know, you weren't here for that.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Thank you.
I just want coaches should be forced to make statements of who they're starting at quarterback, and also when you get a 21 to 28 point lead and pull your starters, are you still going to put your foot on the gas?
I also think they should get fined for lying, because there are several head coaches in the NFL that lie all the fucking time, and I'm like, you're an asshole.
So
you are an asshole.
One last thing before Kelly gives her take. I want to let y'all know right now, this is not a neutral site. This is Death Valley with a lid. So it's going to be fucking loud. It's going to be on people. We're going to be in the Knowles asshole.
So we can't call the name of the place what it is, but the Superdome, we'll call it the Superdome. What is that? It's going to 12 teams? Go down.
12 teams. Trying. I got a little connectivity issues.
Like, what are you
12 teams officially. I got
Let's
the notification.
Go!
I would never interrupt the show. 12 teams.
Thank you. That makes me very happy. Okay.
Yeah, but we don't know what's going on in the conferences.
You can always interrupt, Rico.
You should always have.
That's what we do on the show, Rico. We just interrupt each other the whole time.
If you win the conference, you should be in, is my opinion. Why do we have conferences at any point? But
listen, I want a team from the Sun Belt to come in and fuck shit up. I want to see a team from the AAC come in and disrupt some things. And the SEC is going to get at least 3 teams out of that 12.
Yeah, I know. It's kind
of the Big 12 might get 2. The Big 10 could get 2. We'll see. But I love that. That just made my day. Megan, I told you what was going to happen in this game. You told me you laid LSU -2.5. I said, good job. You got a great number. If it hits 3.5, I have to take Florida State. That scares the shit out of me still. I'm like, ugh. I don't know. Rico brought up graveyards at the beginning of the show. Mike Norvell isn't in my graveyard, but he definitely was on my do not bet list last year.
He's close.
Is Scott Frost and Mike Norvell weird kissing cousins or something? I don't know, but they're the same guy to me. They make terrible mistakes. They lose games they're supposed to win. Speaking of Notre Dame, I was at that game in Tallahassee last year, and let me tell you, I had Florida State money line. I was with Doug's and Frank, and Doug's was so happy that I had the money line, and guess what happened? They looked like dog shit, and they kicked too many fucking field goals.
I'll see Doug's this weekend, I think.
I love that. Oh, yes, he should be there this weekend. But I agree with you. The Superdome is going to be absolutely rocking. I bet it's going to be 85-15. It's going to be all LSU fans. And if you've never been to an NFL game there,
I was like, hell yeah.
To be honest with you, if you've never been to an NFL game there, you're missing out. They are and that's different show, but also why I really like the Saints to win the NFC South. They have one of the best home field advantages where a lot of NFL teams just don't really have one anymore. So I think the size, shape of the dome, if it is sold out, is going to be absolutely rocking. And that will probably keep me off Florida State.
It is sold out, but I'll be.
Listen, they beat Duquesne last week. They ran the ball. They showed nothing. And while that's a good strategy for Mike Norvell not to show Brian Kelly anything, it's not a great strategy to get Kelly to bet on you. I need to see that this team is going to actually be able to throw the ball downfield. I need to see that they are going to run a complete offense. And I haven't seen that yet. And so I have to say I lied that if I got to 3.5, I was going to bet it. No, I'm supposed to bet numbers, not teams. But this one's just kind of got that little like asterisk next to it. Now, maybe come Sunday, I may be a little bit different towards this, but as of right now, I'm just not sold on this FSU team being back.
Oh, I'm so happy. Oh, God, I'm so excited. First football game of the year. I'm in full body chills. Cannot wait to pass everyone and say, suck that tiger dick. And it's going to be the best.
Megan and I both got our fingernails painted purple for this weekend. Did you guys wanted to know?
Rico, you did.
Mine are actually for next weekend, but same.
The
No, you're gonna bet on LSU.
playoff is expected to start in 2026 after the current contract. According to a source, there is still a chance that it could go
I might
earlier.
not even be alive in 2026. What fucking nonsense is this?
But those details are complicated and would take some time to work out.
Complicated.
I mean, 20 gives us something to look forward to.
For sure. It's like, what is the what's that
This
movie?
has been like the long 2.5 years of my life. 2026 seems like 30 years away.
Like they tried to make Avatar 2 and it's taken like 14 years to make.
I didn't even know they were doing that.
They're trying to. Y'all need to get in with y'all's Disney, especially you, Rico, for no reason at all. So,
Megan, do you know who I am?
Yeah. All right,
How
guys.
am I going to let my whole family is going to Disney World this weekend, and you think I'm fucking going? Are you out of your mind?
No, you're not. It's not the happiest place on earth for Kelly. Kelly's happy place is on her couch watching football and drinking whatever it is.
Not while betting. My bets are already in.
Yeah, her
Just
bets
remember
are
that.
already in,
My
for
bets are already in, and then I can partake in adult beverages.
I've been
Yes.
partake. All right, guys, that is the end of Friday's edition of Money Shots. These are the picks that you want for the weekend. Besides Rico's Ute pick, you definitely want to take Florida there. Just kidding, Rico. But thanks for joining us. Rico will be back not Friday. He's coming on Thursdays. This was just a trial run for Rico, and he passed. So congratulations, Rico. You've made the show. Round of applause for Rico. Everybody give it up for Rico. Come on, Kelly.
Megan, you're so full of shit every day. I love you so much. I cannot wait to see your beautiful smiling face. I know Megan had technical difficulties yesterday. I fully plan on having very massive technical difficulties next Friday.
It was the most anxious I've ever been in my life. I was literally running around sweating while I was sweating the fucking A's, which, by the way, not last night, the night before, I went to sleep watching the Cardinals in extra innings lose, and then the next day bet the A's, and then they lose in extra innings. That's my baseball days back to back. I just wanted to.
Are you done with baseball? Are you going to see it through to October?
Oh, I'm gonna see it through, my boy. All right,
no, there's still Arizona Diamondbacks as a dog. I blogged about it the other day. They play hard every single night. If you see the Arizona Diamondbacks with a plus sign, go after them.
Well,
Also, the Mets are going to be.
Kelly hates baseball.
I'll have to take her to a game. The Mets are being.
No, I love going to baseball games. I like playoff baseball. I love the World Series.
Well, just wait till October, and I'll take you to an Astros game, baby.
Yeah,
Let's
like
go.
June. In June, you're supposed to go on vacation, not sweat out 160 some baseball games.
No, it's great. That's why I dip my fucking I go minus 20 units every summer because of fucking baseball. I love you guys, and I'll see you Monday, Kelly, Rico. I'll see you back Thursday. Thanks for coming on, and good luck to everyone.
Thanks a ton.